And the first one we're going to talk about is the direction filter. Now the direction filter is a motivational filter, okay? It's how do I motivate people? So who's ever had a situation where maybe you're in charge of a sales team and you've offered a prize, let's say it's a BMW for the top performing salesperson at the end of the year, and half the team, gung-ho, they go for this BMW, they want to win it, and the other half do nothing. They don't change their daily routine or their effort level at all. That's really frustrating for a team manager. Why are some people doing it and the others aren't? And they go, it's a BMW. Well, here's the thing. If you offered them the BMW, the chance is that you as an individual would have been motivated by that BMW. Because we tend to try and motivate people by what motivates us. It's human nature. We try and sell to people based on how we want people to sell to us. And this is wrong. Okay, if we want to effectively communicate with somebody, we have to communicate on their wavelength, not ours. And the same goes for motivation, and the same goes for sales. Now this particular one, a question such as, what do you want in a job? And obviously that's a very career, business orientated one, but it doesn't have to be that. You can ask them what they want in a holiday or what they want in a computer or whatever the case may be. But what you're going to get is whether this person is what we call towards or away from. Okay, has anybody here read any Anthony Robbins, any Tony Robbins? So Tony Robbins, it's all about pain and pleasure, isn't it? Yeah, pain and pleasure, that's one of his sort of central theses, which actually the ancient Greeks were writing about 3,000 years ago, but he's very cleverly brought it into his books. So, pain and pleasure, do we move towards pleasure or away from pain? The same goes for money. Do we move towards wealth or away from poverty? It's an interesting question when you think about it. Yeah? Now, whether you're a towards and away from person actually defines what sort of jobs you are likely to go for. Because somebody who moves towards is a very, very goal-orientated person. And they tend to be very good in sales, in marketing, in PR, and they'll be motivated by a carrot. Not literally a carrot, but something that's a prize. Somebody who's away from, so somebody who's moving away from pain or away from poverty, that person is going to be very, very good at finding errors, going to be more detail-orientated probably. And they'll be good lawyers, good accountants, good engineers, good quantity surveyors, etc., etc. Huge correlation here. And let's face it, how many lawyers are in Hong Kong? How many lawyers are here? Any lawyers here? Well, we've got over 20 people without a lawyer. Wow, we get on Facebook, we need to publicise this. That never happens in Hong Kong. Sure there's not one hidden? No? Say anything else. Okay, and there's what, 6,000 plus lawyers in Hong Kong, and most of them are actually away from, because their job is to find errors. They've got to be very, very detail focused. So, this sort of question, what do you want in a job? You're really listening for how they say it and what order they say things in. So if I give you two different answers, here's the first answer. I want a good career path, I want to earn good money, and I basically want to feel as if I've always got a challenge in front of me. Towards or away from? Pretty strongly towards, wasn't it? I mean, that was just towards. What about if I said, I want to earn good money, but at the same time, I've got a family and I want to make sure I have my weekends and I'm back home by 6 p.m. because I've got young kids. What's that?
Towards was some way.
It was both, wasn't it? It's probably, now, this is where your read comes into it. Was that equally towards or away? Was it away with a little towards? I would have probably said it was a middle one because I started with the towards. If I had started by saying, look, I've got a young family, I need to have my weekends, 4 weeks holiday, insurance and all that, but I do want to have a good career and earn decent money. Then I might be tempted to go, don't go down here because I started with the away. The point here is that people tend to say the most important things first. It's not random. Okay? People do tend to say the most important things first. So you really need to listen to what comes out of somebody's mouth first and also watch and to see if they really mean what they're saying. Because you've always got to guess, are people trying to second guess me? Yeah? That's why some questions that we offer here cannot be second guessed as easily. So if somebody gives you a really strong towards, then there's a way in which you talk to that person. We have these things called linguistic markers. So if you've got somebody in front of you, you know who is a towards person, you want them to do a project with you, you're going to say to them, right, here's our goals and objectives. And they're going to go, yes, goals and objectives, that's what I want, because I'm a towards person. But if that person's an away from person, you go up, right, these are our goals and objectives, they're going to go, hey, hold on a bit, what about the risks? So with an away from person, you say, right, here's what we want to avoid. That's going to reduce our potential liabilities. And then they'll be more comfortable with what's about to come next. Now clearly, we start to get into a lot of detail. You imagine having 20 questions, and each one of them you've got different linguistic markers you can use. You'd actually forget what you're going to say to the person. But just having that general understanding, and what I tend to find personally, and also with other people that have done this course, is you decide which ones of these questions you're going to use most. You will have your favourites, if you will. And you'll get very, very proficient at using those, and you'll have a lot of faith in the responses you get from those, because you'll ask them over and over again. And a good way to start this sort of stuff is doing it socially. You know, do it on your friends when you go out for a drink in the evening. Yeah, they won't know you're doing it anyway. And you can weave these questions into normal conversation and just see what comes out. Okay? When you actually mix this in with eye patterns, I don't know if any of you are familiar with eye patterns, but that's something that's taught in NLP. You can actually start to see when people are visualizing things, when they're feeling things, and you mix it all together, and it's quite amazing what a reach you get on people. It's a lot of fun.